Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time we have another Dragon Riders Games tournament finals, and this time we are going to see them be playing for one crossout, and if you go ahead and look on TCG Player, it's worth about $37, but also the winner of this match can either choose to win the crossout or $42 cash, just because crossout was worth more when this tournament started. So they're going to be giving out 42 cash. And then you can also go ahead and check out Dragon Riders Games Facebook page down below in the description. They are the ones that hosted this tournament. Also, right under the link for their Facebook, there's going to be DCS information, which is a big tournament that they're going to be hosting in roughly a month from now. So you can go ahead and check that stuff out. You're going to be hearing that a lot more from me. Every time I bring up Dragon Riders Games, you're going to be hearing about that. So we're going to see Toast versus Texas. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to see Toast win the rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And they're going to go first, 41 versus 40. Opening hands, we have Ash, Prosperity, Punishment, Prosperity, and Meltdown. And then they have Valor, Vashudo, Long Young, Valor, and Tai. Okay, so both of them open up pretty decent hands here. This would have been a really bad going second card versus that kind of hand, though. Honestly, Ash is pretty whack versus this deck most of the time. Activate Meltdown, and then Meltdown goes search, go grab Alistair, and then normal summon Alistair, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 Valor, and then activate Pot of Prosperity. Prosperity, go ahead, banish 3, and then look at the top 3. Hopefully this player isn't like, I don't know, it felt like the last player that was going up against Toast in yesterday's video. It kind of felt like they were nervous. So hopefully this player isn't nervous. And they banish 3 and they do hit the invocation off of that. Alright. We can also see Droll and Lockbird in the main deck. That's a hand trap that a lot of more people have been deciding to play recently. Then they're going to link off for Amirage, activate the invocation, banish the Alistair, banish the Valor, and then summon out the Makaba, and then invocation effect to grab the Alistair. Now go ahead and put that back into the deck, and then set punishment, pass. So, I mean, they have Makaba, they have punishment, they have Ash Blossom, they have follow-up. Like, through a hand trap, too, this is not bad. Like, if there was no hand trap, then Prosperity was grabbing Nattyr Servant, and the end board was going to be a lot more insane. So, like, the hand trap definitely did have an effect on the end board. Draws Ecclesia. Like, that's a pretty solid draw. They're going to go ahead and try to special summon out Vishudo. They're going to Makaba negate the hand effect. They don't want them having a free monk on board. And then special out Ecclesia. And then they're going to activate Ecclesia effect, Tribute to try to go ahead and summon from deck. And this is an easy Ash Blossom. Like, versus SwordSoul, it's like, you know, Ash Ecclesia, Desires, Emergence, Ashina effects sometimes, Heavenly Dragon Circle effects sometimes, Vessel effects sometimes. It just, like, it seems good in theory, but then, like, you actually play versus the deck, and a lot of time Ash, like, is just very whack versus this deck. But it's just a very decent hand trap in the format, especially with so many diverse decks. That's why a lot of people are playing this card. Discard Tai to special summon and then bring out the token. And then on that summon, they're going to activate punishment. Set punishment. Wow! So, moving on into game 2, we're going to go ahead and we're going to see SwordSoul go first. Opening hands, we have Pankratops, Ash, Celestial, Evenly Match, and Invocation. So, draws 2 cards that are not very great here. I don't know. I'm not really that big of a fan of Evenly in this deck. Like, I'm not that big of a fan of Evenly in general. I think, like, Striker can use it pretty decently. But, I don't know. Like, and then they have Protos, Desires, Ashina, Adara, and Vessel. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and go to the main phase and then start off by activating Ashina effect, flop that out onto the board, and then get rid of that, go for Monk, and then they're going to activate Adara effect here, so decides to not activate the Vessel to try to bait Ash Blossom or anything. So now they're going to Ash Blossom, negate Ashuna. And now they're going to activate Vessel. Vessel will go ahead and they're going to add Vishuda by dumping the Mo Yi. And then activate Desires. Desires go ahead banish. So they're going to go ahead and they're going to banish 10. Looking at the banishes, we can see an Ashuna, we can see an Adara, we can see all 3 Long Young. Ugh. Draws into Emergence and Vishuda. Hey, I mean, the draws weren't bad. Like, you got Emergence. The banishes were really bad, though, just because it was 3 Long Young. I mean, the odds of that happening isn't that high. They're going to go grab Mo Yi, and normal summon Mo Yi effect, reveal to place token. Obviously, they're going to reveal Vishuda there. Pretty nice hand. What do you mean, Your hand was insane. To be fair, they did play it wrong. They said, oh, Ash Blossom isn't that great versus our deck? Let's make it great. And literally put themselves on Desires draw decent or not do that great of an end board. I mean, you know, they could still go ahead and like link this away, go for Monk effect, add back, go for Shaman summon Mo Yi into like Draco Berserker. But I don't know, that's not really like that crazy. I mean, they get a draw. Misclick what? The Synchro I'm summoning? You didn't summon yet? I'm waiting for me to select zone. Yeah, you close extra and then open it. Yep. So go ahead, go for Baxia. I legit didn't know that. No problem, continue. So they're gonna summon out Baxia. Mo Yi effect, draw on the Ash Blossom. Now Ash Blossom versus this deck is very solid. And in this scenario where this player doesn't have like any actual playable engine cards, it's overly good. And it sucks they didn't draw any playable cards. It just blows my mind because like, unless if they sided out like hard engine cards, they have 19 starters. That includes Prosperity. But to be fair, if you play 16 starters and you can Prosperity for 6, Prosperity should just be included as a starter at that point. But wow. And then they're gonna get rid of those. It's gonna go for the Chowfang. Chowfang's pretty cute versus this deck. You know, they can't activate lights. And then they're gonna go ahead and summon out Protos. Wonder what they're gonna call with this. Okay, so they're gonna call it Dark. I was gonna say they could also call Light. You know, lock the opponent out of lights and then get this effect to go search. Also decides to summon this in attack position. Pass, draw Alia Star. Then they're gonna go end of main phase, evenly smack the opponent's field away. Main phase 2. I mean, it's pretty much just like trading with Chowfangs, like Monk's whatever. Actually, Monk is something here because like, you know, it's a worm monster to be able to go into like a shaman, or it's a normal monster for like a Vishuda F. And they're gonna normal summon out the Alistair. Misclick. Okay, so they want to summon out Pankratops then. So they're going to go ahead. They're going to special out Pankratops, normal summon out Alistair effect, and then chain Ash Blossom. You know, this was like the only card that like played around Ash like as effectively. Like a Meltdown wouldn't have done it as good. A Prosperity, well, to be fair, they wouldn't have Ash Prosperity most likely just because like they don't know the hand. So why would they do that, you know? But right here, they already have Invocations. So drawing Alistair made Invocation a better card. And then go ahead and activate. That's going to banish. Summon out Makaba. And then activate the Invocation effect to go ahead and grab the Alistair and put that back. And then they're going to pass, draw Judgment, not very great right here. And then moves on to main phase. They're going to activate Protos effect, call Light, chain Makaba, get that off board. And then they're going to activate Vishuda effect, special summon itself out. And then getting rid of that, I'm assuming. Yeah, go for Monk. I mean, like, if you Pankratops pop Monk here, I don't even think you'd do that. Right? I don't know, I kind of feel like you just leave Pankratops if they Vishuda try to bounce it, then you can pop Monk if you want. You don't even have to pop Monk then, though. I mean, realistically, you could just let it get bounced, but that plays into, like, an Otara much harder. Because, like, Otara, then special summon itself, and then, like, you can go for Monk, add back, you could Shaman if you want to, go for Mo Yi, or you could just, like, you know, Otara, add back Mo Yi, normal summon Mo Yi, and then, like, keep going. So, we'll find out here what they decide to do. They're going to activate Vishuda, try to bounce Makaba. Okay, fair enough. Also, just clicks Makaba up. That is fair. That is fair. Then go ahead and pass here. Pass, draw Meltdown. That's not really bad. They're going to go ahead and attack, trying to play around the sudden shift here. Main phase 2, normal summon effect. And then they're gonna Judgment, hit the summon. So, you know, Meltdown's grabbing follow-up. Activate Meltdown, go grab the Alistair, and then pass play. Draws Tai. Oh, that's just wild, because now they have Vishuda to force this Tai to keep going. They're wild. They're wild. To be fair, they didn't draw good last turn. They drew Judgment, so they drew good this turn, which is fair. Get rid of that. Go for Monk, and then they said good question mark. Thumbs up. Vishuda to go ahead, bounce Pankratops, and just let it go through. Okay, so the whole scenario I brought up last turn happened right now, and they decided just to let it go through. They decided not to go ahead, chain and pop that. Then they're gonna normal summon out Tai effect. Tai will banish Monk, summon out a token, and then obviously they're gonna be synchroing these off to go into a synchro 8. And then this will summon out the Grandmaster Tai, so go ahead, dump one from the deck. They're going to dump the Mo Yi, go search Blackout. They do know both the cards in hand here. And then they don't have like an Otter on deck or anything. They already went through 2 of them. You know, most people only play 2. Then they're going to go ahead, battle phase, and attack here for 38. And then set. Pass, draw Prosperity. Yeah, I mean, I don't see Toast losing this. Like, they're gonna go ahead, go to main phase, activate Prosperity. Prosperity will go ahead, they're gonna banish 6, and then looking at those 6, or they actually banished 7. Yeah, okay, so looking at those 6, we see Omega. Very glad to see that card in the list. I think that card deserves its spot. And then look at the top 6, and they're going to grab a Nadir Servant, which, like the seal on the coffin was already there, but, like, it's just extra sealed now. Very, very sealed coffin. And normal summon out Alistair effect. So it's Sec thinking, sorry, big thing, Alistair effect. It's crazy how, like, people think this deck takes no skill. Like, you could literally be playing, like, oh my god, like, every deck in the game takes skill at, like, some way or another, which, like, I mean, some decks obviously take way more skill than others. Like, to play Bird Up or to play Eldlish, Bird Up is way harder than Eldlish. But, besides that, people just generally think that this deck is like, oh, you see your hand, and you just don't have to think. Because, like, oh, it's just summon Alistair, summoning Khaleesi afterwards, and that's it. But, like, I don't know. Like, every competitive deck, you actually, like, you need to think. You gotta play your cards correctly to be able to actually win. You know, there's a huge difference between a random person on DB playing Invoked versus Toast playing Invoked. It's the reason why we see Toast in a lot of these finals. Like a lot of these finals. We've seen Toast in so many of these. Are in Iron Man's. And then special summon out Pinkertops. Move to Battle Phase. Battle Phase Pinkertops. Attack. And then they're going to activate Sudden Shift or Blackout. I still call this card Sudden Shift, but I need to remember it's Meltdown. They're going to target their Tenyi, Meltdown, and Pinkertops. Then they're going to chain Pinkertops to go ahead and pop the Grandmaster, of course. Then poke for 500. The damage is halved. They forgot about that. Toast reminded them about it. Activate Invocation. This is GG's. So they're going to banish, go for Makaba, and then activate the Nadir Servant, and they admit defeat. So GG. Top deck was evenly. Nope, had it in hand. Sad days. My hand was really bad though. It really was not great. Top deck Alistair was nice. Banished all 3 Long Young off the first. He hit 3 Long Young, 3 Imprim on first pop. They actually hit 3 Imprim off that too? They did. I don't pay attention to that because, like, you know, Imprim just doesn't matter. But, like, wow. That's actually just crazy. Yeah, crazy. Unless he banished 2 Otera, all 3 Young. Yeah, I mean, he banished 1 Otera, 3 Long. But GG's. So we're going to see Toast win the cross out here or the $42. And make sure to go ahead and check out Dragon Riders Games Facebook page down below in the description. And the DB Grinder signing off. Peace. Have a nice day. Stay safe.